Glaives have been very under the radar lately, and I'll admit it, they're not at the top of the meta right now, but for the past several days, I was working to change that up with a combo that could rival even the top builds. It allows you to zone in and out of invisibility, stun 2 types of champions, and most importantly, it is stupid easy to use. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. The beginning of this build starts off with our exotic armor piece of choice, Triton Vice. This exotic's perk, Halberdier's Reach, increases the glaive reload speed and damage by 100% when surrounded. Not only that, but defeating a target with our glaive melee will overflow the magazine, allowing us to carry more ammo at all times. It also makes glaive projectile kills create an explosion on impact, but this won't be relevant as we will be taking the infamous Winter Bite. This exotic glaive shoots a slow stasis projectile that freezes on hits, and that's great on its own, but it's not the reason we took this weapon. Its other perk increases its melee damage by 50% and deals 40 slow as long as you have 1 round loaded. Using this, every 3rd hit will freeze a target, adding shatter damage on top of the 150% damage increase. This slow also allows us to stun unstoppable and overload champions by either freezing or slowing. We can increase that damage even more though by taking our first fragment, Facet of Ruin, which will increase our shatter damage along with our ignition radius. This pairs perfectly with our first aspect, Gunpowder Gamble. This ability allows us to throw an insanely powerful grenade every several kills that will completely wipe a room when thrown. This makes clearing rooms quick and easy with just 1 click of a button, and with Winter Bite and other effects, we get it back in seconds. We'll also take the Dusk Field Grenade, which will allow you to take full control of an area or placing a roadblock when thrown. Before you think this build can get any crazier though, we'll take Stylish Executioner. This aspect turns us invisible when defeating a target with an elemental buff. This pairs perfectly with the slow from Winter Bite, allowing us to swiftly switch in and out of invisibility. Not only that, defeating a target with our glaive melee will weaken that target, allowing us to get extra damage in. Another thing to think about is Transcendence. We already get darkness energy in crazy amounts from freezing and slowing targets, but with our second fragment, Facet of Devotion, we will be able to keep spamming Transcendence. This fragment grants us light energy by defeating targets who are afflicted with either stasis or stranded debuffs, allowing us to balance both sides out and always have that extra damage resistance and damage. This is also why we will be taking the Threaded Spike as a way to gain quick and easy energy. Now, we do massive amounts of damage, but we need to address the other side of the story, survivability. Going in and out of invisibility is already very strong, but with Facet of Protection, it gets better. This fragment simply makes us gain 15% damage resistance when surrounded. Adding on to this, we will take Facet of Blessing, which will make our melee final blows start health regeneration, a great alternative to just waiting it out to heal. To top it all off, we will take Facet of Purpose combined with our super, Soak Strike, to gain Woven Mail, a 45% damage resistance buff whenever we pick up an Orb of Power. Before we move on, I would like to mention that there is a Mobalytics guide down in the description for those of you who want to copy-paste this build onto your hunter in just a single click. With that out of the way, let's move on to armor mods. Starting off with our helmet, we will be taking Stasis Siphon to make rapid kills with Winter Bite drop an Orb of Power. Along with that, we will take Heavy Ammo Finder and Hands On to gain super energy and an increased chance at heavy ammo drops from our Winter Bite melee. Going into our gloves, we will do well with Stasis Dexterity to quickly pull out Winter Bite whenever you want. On our chest piece, any resistance mod of your choosing will suffice. Moving on to our leggings, a copy of Recuperation to heal us on Orb of Power pickup will help us stay alive. We will also take Stacks on Stacks to grant armor charges on Orb of Power pickup. Finally, Stasis Weapon Surge to give our Winter Bite another 10% damage buff. On our cloak, we will take Reaper to spawn Orbs of Power after dodging, Powerful Attraction to collect said orbs when dodging, and Bomber to gain grenade energy when using our class ability. With armor mods out of the way, I want to quickly go over weapon recommendations that heavily influence how well this build does. First off, I would advise against using primary weapons, as Winter Bite does not take any ammo to melee with, so I would use double special. Weapons like the Call, Riptide, Indebted Kindness, Forbearance, or any other special weapon would do well. I also recommend weapons that apply an effect like Volt Shot to proc Invis. Now, the gameplay loop is stupid easy. Simply use your Winter Bite melee. Doing this easy thing will make you zone in and out of invisibility, heal, stun champions, gain transcendence, and deal boss DPS. You can switch to your special weapons from time to time, but otherwise, just stick with Winter Bite. But now, I've said all there is to say, so DestinyVerse out.